Once again, I would like to welcome each of you here in this present moment, in this ongoing evolutionary journey to wholeness. To be whole comes with the understanding that different aspects and facets of who you are and that which you are, such as body, mind, and heart spirit, and other facets, can come into a state of alignment and harmony. That would be wholeness. For the most part, people are constantly experiencing fragmentation. So this Evolving Wholeness video series is entitled Living Your Truth. So living your truth in this day and this time requires great courage from you. In order to be truthful to the deeper dimensions of who you are as body, mind, heart, spirit, requires you to have courage. Because so much of our current society and the way it is set up and the things that are valued and given esteem and put on a pedestal, such as materialistic accomplishments, materialistic possessions, fame, fortune, all these various aspects that society at large holds up as to be that which is worthwhile to strive for, is ultimately antithetical to becoming whole. Therefore, the rub. In order to become whole, you have to embrace a way of living, a way of being that in actuality supports this process of wholeness, rather than give some illusory goals like a mirage in the desert that eventually when you reach it, it vanishes. So ultimately that which feeds your soul is what has value. And this living your truth takes courage then. For the most part, when you start to align to what is right for your soul in your journey where you're at in your life, you're not going to be given much positive support or acknowledge that what you are doing and the way in which you are attempting to live your life will not be, given that much credit. So therefore, in order to live your truth, you have to find this inner courage deep within your own being, so that you know when there are things for you to address in your life, whether that is in your work, your relationships, your spiritual practices, your lifestyle. You know within yourself what isn't truthful for you, what isn't living your truth. And it is these facets of yourself that you know aren't of support into unfolding the more of who you are, but yet you continue to live these things because it is easier. There isn't the confrontation, there isn't the stress. You do not want to rock the boat, either within yourself or within your relationships, whether that be your intimate partner, your husband, wife, your work. There's that part of you that doesn't want to go through the upheaval and the process of the change. But look at that. Really consider this for a moment. If you just continue along the same way of not living your truth, and you do that year after year, decade after decade, what you will end up with is tremendous regret. Tremendous regret that you did not live a life that would have unfolded your greater wholeness. And as we have talked about in these other Evolving Wholeness series, ultimately it is the soul's inner desire to find that wholeness, to experience that wholeness, because that wholeness is fulfillment. It is the inherent essence of what you are as a conscious cellular being. And that which you are as a conscious cellular being is inherently love, is inherently peace, is inherently unbounded freedom. But in order for these qualities of your soul to manifest, there needs to be an alignment that allows for this wholeness to take place. So, again, you have to start with where you're at. You have to begin to evaluate your life, evaluate where you're headed, and look at it from this deeper perspective. Because the perspective that you look at anything from your life determines how you will evaluate it. So take the perspective of what you know and feel yourself to be on a deeper level. And then let that guide you in living your truth and making the changes and addressing the things that need to be addressed in your life. And then again, this is a progressive process. It is not something that you make one decision and then you are finished in the journey. It requires an ongoing commitment, a day-to-day commitment to keep living your truth and finding that courage to do so. And that courage comes from that deeper part of yourself that is aligned to truth, that knows that living your truth is what will bring you the happiness. And then along the way, you can live your life with more harmony, with more peace, knowing that you have done the best that you can. So then as you progress in your years and the decades, and ultimately towards the end of this physical lifetime, you will not end up with tremendous regret that your soul will then have to process as you transition out of the physical body into your next journey. So be with this message. Let this message sink in to you about living your truth and finding the courage that it will take to do so. So once again, I thank you for being here and sharing these moments with me.